But yeah, the sad reality is everyone wants something that will give them more eyeballs and more. Ultimately, it's a business, right? Whether you're on Netflix or Amazon or ZEE5, I need someone to pay that 999 a year, or 500 a year, or 500 a month, as the case may be. It is a business, so they will all evaluate things. If I'm allocating, it's asset allocation for everyone, right? It could be for Pathan and Jawan, they give 100 crores, and that might be more valuable for them, at least perception-wise, maybe not money-wise or whatever, than your film, which may be a fraction of that cost. But yeah, the reality is, this is how it is.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Hassan.
Okay. Yes,
My name is Hassan. For example, let's say the film is 1 crore, and I'm taking from a VC, or like a angel investor, and you were talking about 36% and 54%, right? Is there a way to give equity and make that deal?
Yes.
Are there things happening? Are there things happening like that?
Of course, there are, and they want a part of the whole profit sharing.
Okay.
Like it's any other business deal. So it's for you to figure out what works for you and what works for the VC.
Whether you want to give the equity or you just want to take finance and pay the interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this equity, there is also a profit equity. There is IP right equity.
Okay.
So depending on what they like, what you prefer to part with, you can always choose that.
So 1/3 is the equity, is there in my mind now. Does it make sense, or what do you think is a rough?
We can talk after this, because that's a very personalized decision depending on how you like
Okay,
it. Yeah.
thank you.
I'll be happy to.
My question is actually to Prithvilji. We have been trying to establish the co-production treaty between South Africa and India. So now what you mentioned just now is that 40% of the tax rebate that we'll get. So as a South African film producer, if I get National Film and Video Foundation, the grant from there, and then if I come back to India and say, okay, I'm producing this film, can I get, or can I have access to that 40% of the grant or tax rebate? Is it possible without having the co-production treaty between India and South Africa?
First of all, production treaty is in advanced stages. We are already working out with South Africa. The second thing is that even without the treaty, as I clarified here, even without the treaty, if you're doing part of your production in India, you are eligible for incentives. Incentives is not a tax credit. In the way India has positioned its incentives, it's a cash back of, suppose you spend 1 crore here, you're going to get up to 40% back. So that's up to 40%.
So they subsidize your shooting cost.
Yeah, so you can factor in, if you have some financing available, you can factor in this amount of incentive as the financing available as an extra. So that is why we realized that the filmmakers first need to budget themselves, and this helps very handy that before you starting to make a film, you budget yourself, not just from the money which you have, but from the money like this you can get from the governments, from the other people by way of endorsements or selling of rights here we were talking about. So that you can always factor in that thing.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Your question itself is wrong. You said if everything is okay and a movie goes flop. If everything is okay, the movie can never flop.
My question is how it will.
You have to make one more film. if you leave the film industry, then it is a loss. But you carry on, that will be an investment that you can recover after 3 or 4 films.
So losses
If you
happen.
lost in your first film, carry on with the second film.
Yeah, losses happen. You have to just move on.
No, let me tell you, losses will happen. This is the business where the success ratio is extremely low, and the smarter or the more seasoned producers, the larger producers, we all de-risk by virtue of selling our rights to the Netflix, Amazon, ZEE5, ZTV, as the case may be. If the box office does not perform, the value that we've sold it at to these, but for this particular film, it might get absorbed, but over a long-term relationship, it does get adjusted. And what happens is